Hello, wonderful people joining in. We're doing some well, we'll just start with the introduction with Josh. Ben's having some technical difficulties at this moment. I'm sure he'll be back in a moment. I suppose I could let him go and maybe I'll wait and see if he sends me a message. But Josh, go ahead and tell us about yourself. Wonderful to meet you. So glad to have you here.
Good to meet you too. Yeah, I'm Josh. I sort of travel around the world in a tuk-tuk with my mates. Hello, Ben.
He's back. Yes, we got him. We're doing introductions, Ben.
He's gone.
He's froze. Yeah.
Oh,
At least they took him with a smile on his face. Okay, there he's back again.
Stuffed. Not the pod.
Go stand next to the Wi-Fi, Ben. Yeah. All right, keep going, Josh. Tell us about yourself.
But
here he goes.
But there he is. Boom. So yeah, I basically I travel around.
Yeah, whatever you just said, it came across like a robot.
Sorry, Ben. You do seem to be having a torrent
that will serve us well.
Oh, he's back. You're coming in and out, Ben. So
I can't hear a word, man.
Oh no. Okay, I'm driving to a local cafe, so this will hopefully repair itself. 1 second.
You're gonna drive? Okay. Do you want me to invite you back in a minute, or?
Yeah, that would probably be our best bet, I think.
All right. So I'll just click you out and then keep with Josh's intro. Poor Josh. It is often interrupted introduction. So I'm going to send you off now, Ben.
So sorry about this.
That's okay. We'll get there.
All right.
See you soon.
Remove from live video. All right. So continue, Josh. Sorry about all that.
No worries. Yeah, basically just drive around. At the minute, to be driving around the world in some tuk-tuks with my friends. That's pretty much, and I'm just trying to build sort of a social media brand, I guess, and then just live through as many cool stories as possible, and try and share as many interesting characters with people that we meet along the way.
That sounds so lovely. And I mean, years ago when I was 26 and I went and moved to Peru, and it was the same sort of deal where I decided I needed to deprogram my brain of all of its American nonsense. And it's just the wonderful, wonderful people I've met from everywhere. When you start doing that, you start to travel and you see how similar we all are. And it's just, I've just created this real addiction to different perspectives. So it's so fun to have you here.
Nice one, man. And where were you in Peru?
I was in Lima for pretty much the entire. I'm going to send another invite here to Ben, so he's got his invite there. But yeah, I was in Lima, and it was funny because I lived in Lima for like 2 years before ever going to Machu Picchu. And people are like, "How can you have been in Lima for?" I'm like, "Well, I'm learning Spanish. I'm learning the people, and it's like I didn't just come to do the tourist thing and just zip into a country, see their thing, and zip out without even knowing it." So, and I've taken a lot of people to Machu Picchu now because I know all the hotels and the guides and all the things. So I mean, really you can do these things so inexpensively. People have told me it's like, why did this trip only cost like $500? And I'm like, why? And they're just like, because when I tried to sign up for a tour, it was like $9,000. I'm like, well,
yeah, very satisfying when you can figure that one out. When you realize pretty much all just expensive food and accommodation, which is where your money's going, then you can live a good life if you just decide to live in a tent.
Yeah. Yes. and that was a big thing too. Now, what were you saying you're driving around in? The phrase you used was something.
Well, it's tuk-tuk. So you'll
tuk-tuk.
India, Peru has tuk-tuks. Yeah, just little 3-wheelers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Like Thailand, India, Sri Lanka, that sort of vibe. And we got addicted. It was meant to be a bit of a joke. It was like, let's see, can we drive? We all got made unemployed during COVID, but we had some savings because we were in our late 20s. And so we were just like, we're never going to have a better position to buy some cheap vehicles and just spend a year during COVID just trying to like drive across Africa. It just seemed like logical at the time. So we bought them in 2021, and then we set off to Cape Town thinking it was going to be hellish. Like we knew we were gonna have punctures. We knew that we were gonna get messed up by mosquitoes, elephants. We knew we were gonna have some problems, but in the end, it was just unbelievably good. Like it didn't seem to have too many drawbacks. So when we got to South Africa, we all agreed, like, let's just keep trying to do this and turn it into like a thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's just great. It reminds me a little bit of Corey Vinny, he's got his Substack called Radical Paths.
Yeah.
And he just like, yeah, he'd get on his boat and he started to travel and learned how to sail. He'd like never, they bought a boat. And he's just like, well, I guess this is our life house. And they're learning how to sail on the way. And like you, I mean, it's it's like a motorcycle essentially is what you're dealing with.
Like a big motorcycle with a roof. Importantly, it has a roof. So when
Yeah.
got some cover. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it big enough for a sleeping area or do you put up your tents?
All intense. Yeah. So it's just 3 little seats in one, and then we've got 2. So we've got one which is like a passenger tuk-tuk, which can carry 3 people and some bags and stuff. And then the other one is called Princess Buttercup, and she's like a metal box on wheels. She's got her whole life into. She has the kitchen, all the tents, yeah, all the food. So she's like the pack horse. Just carries all. I don't know.
I bet you've gotten good at small engine repair too, right?
One of us has gotten real good at it. He's gotten so good at it that he won't let any of us near the engine ever because he's like,
Perfect.
you're like chimpanzees with spanners. I know what I'm doing. So yeah, we've been banished.
So let me just keep everybody updated. We're still waiting for Ben. I've sent him the invite again. So it's the what's it called? The invite is live. So hopefully Ben gets to his place of more stable internet and jumps on here in a second. But I just love this conversation already. I mean, this is just great. And how's your you're staying in England now? Or are you still in Africa or where are you?
I've been sort of on the road, but always working jobs till I was 28. That's when the big, the world
Yeah.
shut. And since then, I managed to get quite a lot of followers on social media. And then as soon as you have like I got like to about 150K in like 2 months. And I was just like, okay, now I know there is a way to turn it into a business. I just don't know how to do it. So then I was like, I know that I will regret not chasing this sort of signal from the universe that I should try and work at this. And because I got 150K in 2 months, I thought it would be quick. I was like, oh, I'll have 1 million by the end of the year, and fantastic. I won't ever have to do proper work again. And then that. I fluked it the first time. So I've had to now start like learning how to how to sort of have a career out of social media. And it's not like it's not taken off quickly. It's been about how long have we been since COVID? 5 years? 4 years? Been a while. So still learning.
It always seems to me too that I'll have like an initial burst of positivity and then it's like every platform just trails off then. And it just feels to me like whatever the overlords of the universe or the oligarchs of the world, they're like, can't have a message like this. And it's like, well, this guy's really good. Then they like read it. They're like, no more help for that guy.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a lot with, we thought we were getting, looking back, I think we were just making crap content. But there was a time where we thought that, because we were making a lot of videos about pangolins and pangolin scales. And obviously that's quite a contentious issue with how many are getting shipped to China. And then we wondered why our TikTok views had dropped off. And then we came up with all sorts of conspiracy ideas. But then it turns out, having gone back and rewatched them, they just weren't very good.
That's how most of the time all the writers I know, they instantly blame themselves because of imposter syndrome and things like that. And it's just like, yeah, and it's like you can look at all these other but sometimes it is because the work isn't very good. But I bet you're getting great pictures and stuff to share.
Oh man, the content we're getting it's unbelievable stuff. Like we've all gotten a lot better at filmmaking. Like when we set off, we just had this like none of us had really been filmed or anything, but we managed to get some camera equipment, secondhand camera equipment, managed to get some drones, and managed to like start work along the way as like a traveling film crew. So we'd rock up to a lodge, and especially in Africa, like in the center of Africa, going through Malawi and Botswana and Zimbabwe, a lot of the lodges were really interested in social media, but they just couldn't get a film crew there. Like a film crew was costing so much money, they'd have to like travel all the way from somewhere else. And we just rocked up in tuk-tuks with these cameras, and we were like, we will literally make you a video for beer and chips. And they were like, we got making very quick videos, which they'd be happy with, and just getting beer and like fried chicken if we were lucky. which was
Yeah,
fun.
that's been my experience as a writer too. I worked for a publication in Peru for a while, and I would do just, I'd do write-ups of restaurants, and it was just, "Okay, I'll take a meal, and then I'll write up your restaurant," and, like, I'm happy with this arrangement, and
Yeah.
having some drinks, and then half the time, like, the chefs and all the service staff would wanna drink with me, and then we'd go out partying, so it became, like, this big fun thing, just like, "Yeah, everybody's happy, we're all good friends." I send them the article, they're happy again, so, yeah, that's the joy of writing. You're not making money.
But there's something really cool about like what you just said. Like you obviously are a great writer. And so like to be able to like use your writing in the moment and as trade, I think there's something so cool about doing it not for money, but as like for food. I think it teaches you some cool lessons. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it absolutely does. So these days, where are you on Substack as much as everything else, or it's TikTok, or where does everything live?
That's a good point. I've been everything's sort of shifted. In the tuk-tuks, I get very little time for writing.
Yeah.
But that sort of slipped away. So I've had to sort of lean more onto the short form because I can do it in a minute. So
Yeah.
Hi.
Well, he's there now. Good. We got him back. Oh, we've been having a lovely conversation though. And I was just
Perfect.
thinking, 'cause he was saying writing is a little bit more difficult, but I would think like the podcasting aspect would be easy. Just wake up and just say, "Hey, this is," and I'm finding, and I think you know this too, Ben, but you just release a daily thing like today's date. This is where I am. This is what I did yesterday. And there's a lot of
Yep.
interest in hearing that kind of thing.
I put spot on, man. And that's one of the things that it-
Oh, now his is kind of glitchy on us. Now you're a little glitchy on us, Josh. I don't know. Oh, that's one thing after another.
okay.
Yeah, now it's back. Yeah, it seems like it's okay now. And maybe it just had to stabilize because Ben came in. Maybe it's me.
Yeah. I'm
It's not
glad
you.
it's not an exclusively me problem. I apologize to anyone who saw that beginning mishap, but I had to drive my ass over to a cafe because there was construction being done at my house and it incapacitated our Wi-Fi.
It's by design. It's sabotage. I always blame sabotage. So please sponsor us because we're constantly sabotaged. We need help. But I don't. Ben, why don't you introduce our talk topic for the day? Even though we've been talking for 15 minutes.
I think that a fun tangent for today, for anyone who's willing to listen, might be to just get into some of our travel experiences because I have been deeply immersed in traveling my trip to Peru that I'm hoping to do this February. And most of my entertainment consumption has been in the form of YouTube videos.
Hmm. Have you been to Peru, Josh?
Yeah. We were that.
Oh, he's clicking out again. Are you hearing him okay, Ben?
No, I didn't hear that last part of
Ah,
it. It does seem
good.
like it's fucking out a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
now? How's it okay? I
Yeah,
flew
now we're
I
okay.
flew from Cusco in Peru.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
So
I think
I'm
it's I think it's
I-
running into problems when I overtalk, so I'm gonna have to be more careful about being silent when you're getting going. Yeah, you mentioned the tuk-tuks in Peru.
So
Cusco's beautiful. Tell Ben your impressions of Cusco, Josh.
It's awesome. The altitude was hilarious. Like the idea that I would be out of breath going up 10 steps to get anywhere. Like not just like a little out of breath, but like blowing hard. That was hilarious. Yeah.
I oh, I
so
went
so
there.
that was where you started this recent trip?
No, we started in Uruguay and then we went
Okay.
down to Tierra del Fuego, right to the very bottom, Ushuaia, and then we turned around and came all up Chile into Peru. And then we basically, to be honest, Chile and Peru are so big. You come back here and you say, "Where have I been for the past year?" Chile and Peru. They're just like, "You've just done two countries." Like, yeah, we did two countries, but they're massive. Yeah.
I'm always so put off by people who think that they can just go to a country for 2 weeks and experience it. Because you really could be there for an entire year and only really see half of what there is to see.
Yeah,
Sure.
and that was my experience where I was just telling Josh how I spent like 2 years in Lima before going to Machu Picchu, and people thought I was. But Lima, I love Lima. I think Lima's a great it's so chaotic, and it gets such a bad reputation. Like, people are like, "Oh, you only pass through it on the way to Cusco," but I love it there. But, yeah, a couple years ago actually, the first time I took my kids to Machu Picchu, they were like 5, and so the altitude hits you so hard.
Yeah.
Cusco's at 11,000 feet, I think. So you fly in, and you're walking around. You just got to be careful. And I remember my youngest daughter, she was sitting in the hotel and she was just like, bleh. She throws up and she's just like, okay, we got her bed all cleaned up. And then she's like sitting there and she's like, bleh, throws up again. And so I was realizing she was just kind of getting herself worked up. You know, she was like not feeling good. She was sitting there with this look on her face and she looks at me and she goes, no quiero vomitar. It's like, I just don't want to throw up. But she was just so sad and tired. So I just turned on cartoons and we were watching cartoons at night. So she had something to distract her from the fact that she didn't feel well. And finally she went to sleep. But the trick is, yeah, drink a lot of Gatorade and then have those like sweet candies, like hard candies. Constantly suck on those. Just always, so that was easy to tell the kids to do. So like always be sucking on a candy because it makes you drink more too, so you stay hydrated. But that's the trick to watching. I love that. I mean, the kids love it. Oh, daddy's got candies because we're in Cusco. Yeah, eat these all the time so you don't get sick. You just need that sugar and then you don't get sick.
So have you been to Machu Picchu quite a few times then?
I've been to Machu Picchu probably 15 times, maybe
Wow.
30 times. Well, it's because everybody who came to visit me always wanted to go to Machu Picchu, you know? So it's just sort of like, okay, so we'd go to Machu Picchu. And I always planned for 2 days because Machu Picchu's huge too. So it's just like you were saying before, you can't just some people tried it. They get on a train from Cusco, they go from Cusco to Machu Picchu. It's like a 3-hour train ride. They see the ruins, they jump back on the train, they're back in Cusco that night. I'm like, no, you want to take the train from Ollantaytambo to Aguas Calientes, spend 2 days there, and that also gives you a buffer in case something goes wrong, which often does in Peru, like the train might break down. But it's totally worth it to spend 2 days walking around Machu Picchu, do a Machu Picchu mountain, do Huayna Picchu. Those are challenging hikes, even though Machu Picchu isn't as high as Cusco. So if you spend like 2 or 3 days in Cusco, you're kind of acclimated, and then you really have a great time at Machu Picchu then. But yeah, that's a great trip. That's so much fun.
So I was just unfortunately informed after arriving at the cafe that our Wi-Fi has actually returned back home.
You're good.
So now I'm left debating whether to just pull 180 and go right back.
No, drink your coffee and sit with us. Bring somebody along. Bring your server over. Have her come say hi. So what were your impressions, Josh, of Machu Picchu?
Oh, honestly, it blew me away. Like, I'm really not used to going to places which are popular and like having an experience. Like I can go and appreciate them, but I'm not used to going there and having like a weird experience. Machu Picchu really I walked away silent, which is very strange for me. I was completely blown away. I had no idea quite how cool, because I'm afraid, because we've all seen the photos from the classic places
Right.
online. None of them get the fact that you're on this giant cliff. Like when you like look around and you're like, oh, we're on this huge cliff. It's like you can't capture that in the selfies, and I had no idea just how difficult it must have been to put that thing on that cliff. Blew me away. Yeah.
So did you go up with a pretty large tour group and it didn't really detract from the experience at all?
Well, every time you go to Machu Picchu, there's large tours around. I mean, we went up
Yeah.
there by ourselves. We hiked up. We went there. We went
Oh, yeah?
early. Yeah, we hiked up. I think it was good to hike up, like because that's the way
Yes.
that they would have gone up. They would have
Yes.
hiked up. So it's like hardly anyone hikes up. Everyone's in these buses, and I was like, okay, fair enough if you're with a family or with someone who can't walk very well or whatever. But all these kids who are our age, I was like, dude. Yeah, and they were all wearing hiking gear, all just getting on the buses to spending like $20 to get up there. So I was judging them from afar. But anyway, um yeah, it was just an incredible feat of engineering, and one which I could really I could feel how hard it was for them to do. They didn't have ropes, they didn't have
Right.
metal, they had no iron. It's mental. And they didn't do it with slaves. Like normally, if you've got a giant thing like that, like the pyramids, they had slaves. The Incas didn't use slavery. It was like this. It was amazing.
And I was like too about Machu Picchu. There's like a mountain, and then there's a river that goes around the back of it. So it
Yes.
feels like you're in the cradle of creation. You're just standing there like, oh my god, because the big mountain, and it looks bigger just because there's some space. There's the river valley, and then the surrounding mountains. But yeah, I've done, and I was going to tell you guys to do that hike. The hike, like, and I always traveled like with no money, so it's just sort of like I'm not going to spend $20 to ride this damn bus. And the trail is really easy to find. You just go down the road, down the river, go up the trail. It's this neat trail through the mountains, and it actually crosses the roads. But it takes about 40 minutes, I think. I mean, that's a conservative, longer. Maybe these days it'd take me an hour and a half. But I did that hike because that's how you get up there to see sunrise over Machu Picchu, which is kind of fun. But then I was like, the time I did that, I'm like, I was not very smart and I didn't bring a headlamp. So I'm trying to climb up the mountain. I'm trying to climb up the mountain in the darkness. I'm like, well, I've done this before, so I hope I don't die. But I got up there. But yeah, the other two climbs, those are challenging climbs. Getting to the top, Huayna Picchu's really intense. You've seen some of the pictures, like the Stairway to Nowhere or whatever it's called. But then the mountain on the other side, you can climb up to the top of Huayna Picchu Mountain. You can go do the Sun Gate. There's all these things around there. Actually, 3 days. Oh, and then when you're done, there's thermal baths. It's called aguas calientes because there's and that's great. They'll serve you drinks right in the thermal baths. You can sit there, and they got these stones you can rub your feet because they're kind of worn out from walking all day. So it's great.
I've got a couple of questions for you, Walter. So first of all, we didn't get to do Huayna Picchu. We didn't get the tickets for it, and we didn't get them in time. I've heard there are like really cool secret almost things, like things that are like not. Is it the Temple of the Moon, Temple of the Sun, or Gateway of the Sun?
Temple of the Moon's there.
It's like Indiana Jones stuff over there, which we were very jealous.
Yeah. There's this neat thing where you can you're climbing through, like the trail will go through like these then tunnels that I could barely get through. You're kind of climbing through and then get up to the top. And then there was one year, because Huayna Picchu, you get to the top and you can look down on Machu Picchu, and that's so cool. So I got up there one time and I got up to the top, and there was this group of Germans there looking down. They're just like, oh, this is great. So I had in my backpack a 6-pack of beer, which I lugged all the way up there. So I got behind him and I took my beer and I was like, psst. And the Germans, all of them turned around. They're like, oh, I gave them beers. They're like, oh, our new best friend. And then I had pictures of myself drinking. It was Cusqueña. So then I sent them into Cusqueña. I'm like, use this as your advertising. You know, they didn't do it, but it was just sort of fun. But yeah, then you can climb all around on that mountain, and you go back to the back, and there's the Temple of the Moon playing around in there. And I mean, I've done this over the years. The first time I went was maybe 2003 or so. And it's gotten a little bit more where they kind of direct you. In the past, it was just wide open. You could get lost up there, and people would kind of stay in and camp at the ruins, and like nobody really cared. I didn't do that, but it was just sort of like that was available. But now they limit it, so it's a little bit harder. Because you're going, Ben, I think it's low tourist season, you might still be able to get those tickets to Huayna Picchu. Do the Huayna Picchu hike, and if that's already closed, do Mount Machu Picchu. They're both really great hikes. And it's just it's a fun time. There's, like you said, Indiana Jones, the exploration is great.
But if you don't get as far as getting tickets for Machu Picchu, there's no reason that you wouldn't still be able to just go ahead and do the hike on your own.
Yeah, I think you should be able to get tickets to get in to just see the main ruins, and then you'll be able to get up to Temple of the Sun, and you could even go beyond, or the Sun Gate, I meant to say, and you can go beyond that. So there's a lot of things you can do even if you can't get all the tickets. I think you'll be able to get in because in February there's not as many people. When did you go, Josh? What?
November. I think I was there in November. And I remember, okay, so like one of the things which shocked me about Peru, I know they're all around Machu Picchu, is like, the Peruvian dog, the hairless dog. My God, if you bump into that thing, if you bump into a big one on like a dark night after a few tequilas, my God, like it will scare the bejeebus out of you. Like it looks like no other animal I'd ever seen before.
Yeah. You'd be drinking Pisco sours though, right?
Yeah, Pisco sours, that's the one, yeah.
And the Maracuya sour, they do the passion fruit version. Those ones I really like. But
Things just seem to have frozen on my end.
I'm sorry?
Oh no.
You're still there?
You're okay.
Okay, yeah, things just briefly froze on my end.
Oh, you're good. You're
still debating on driving my ass back home now that the Wi-Fi has returned, because I'm hearing quite a bit of radio in the background. I'm not sure if that's coming through for you guys, but
it's not bad. I think it's good.
Okay.
I kind of vote to keep you here. I want to keep the momentum going. Now, have you done any of the jungle? Have you done any of the jungle yet, Josh? Or
Yeah, we did. We went into Bolivia and we got humbled again. Like the Andes humbled us immediately on the altitude. We went up. I climbed up to 6,000 meters in. Do you know Arequipa?
Yep, yep.
I climbed that volcano in Arequipa to 6,000, and that one in my head I was like, "How hard can it be?" And then it turned out to be the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Like it sucked. Those last like 200 meters where you just don't have. It's like 40% oxygen up there.
Yeah.
So and you're carrying packs,
Eesh.
and we were in a blizzard. So yeah, we got wiped out by the Andes, and then the Amazon. Went into the Amazon again. I've lived in Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, so I'm used to bugs. I'm used to the rainforest. As soon as I got into the Amazon, 1,000 bites day one. Day two, 1,000 bites. Day three, 1,000 bites. Like it just never slowed down, and it was, yeah, it humbled me. It really did. Yeah.
You get out to Iquitos and you see their freshwater dolphins. They have these
Oh,
pink.
the one they keep us in Peru.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't. We didn't.
Oh.
That's the one you can't
You
drive.
can't
to,
drive.
isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
ask that if you would leave your bicycles and then fly somewhere. There's Puerto Maldonado you can get to from Cusco. That'd be something Ben
Yes.
could do.
We went to Puerto Maldonado. We went to in the tuk-tuk. We drove down from Cusco to Puerto Maldonado. That was awesome. That was
We're
what a drive. What
Oh.
a bloody drive.
We're getting this all. Ben's all set up. He's gonna be happy. He's gonna watch this over and over again and all the things that he can do. But I'll just add the most difficult trip I did in Peru. I did a hike to Choqquequirao with Peru's first Winter Olympian, Roberto Carcelin, who's a cross country skier, and he did this as like a training thing for the Olympics with Martin Kukal, who is a cross country skier from the Czech Republic. And so Choqquequirao is like this set of ruins. It's a 20-mile hike to get there, and nobody goes there, like because it's so hard to get there. And then we walked like the back way to Machu Picchu after that. So it was like this 8-day hike. We went through a couple passes that were 16,000 feet. You know,
Wow.
and it was just sort of like, and he didn't tell me this. You know, I'm a cross country skier. So he's like, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine." They were like 4 days into the hike. He's like, "Tomorrow's pass is 16,000 feet." I'm like, "Fuck." So I was
Oh
just like
my
taking, I was
God.
taking like 50. You got to take, and even the Olympic athlete, the most intense guy, he was a bronze medalist at the Olympics. And even he was like, "Do not fuck with altitude. Altitude doesn't matter how good a shape you're in." And it's like, once you get out of breath, there's no air to get back in. So you basically just pass out until you relax enough to wake back up. But I was just
Yeah.
taking 50 steps, stopping, and just like trying to get over this pass. So yeah, if you can get to Choqquequirao, that's a little bit tougher, and that's a backpacker trip. But yeah, if you got tents, there's nothing stopping you.
Awesome. Well, that must have been some trip. That is
Oh.
high there.
Yeah, fuck. It was something else. So Ben, yeah, we got you inspired. Oh, did he freeze on us again? No. No, there he is.
Oh no, you can't see me?
You're back.
We could
Yeah, I
see
think that I sadly might need to go back home. I'm going to this time at least try to stay on the cellular so you don't lose me completely, but I'm feeling as though I'm imposing a little bit on the fellow people around me in the cafe with my current live video, and the audio is less than terrific. But yeah, I apologize once again to whoever's watching this and just tuning in for my bluster, but
Well, just
yeah,
drive really
I will
crazy.
hopefully get this sorted within the next 5 minutes.
Try
No
to
worries,
drive
pal.
really crazy, get the cops chasing you, and I want to see the lights
I
flashing
will.
behind. I mean, just that'll be in the corner of our video as we're talking to Josh. Well, Ben's out here doing Mad Max, like shooting out the window and stuff. That's what I want to see. So what's the next?
Have you
step for
guys seen the
Josh?
latest Mad Max movies? Those are both terrific.
Yeah, the latest one wasn't as good, but Fury Road. I watched it with my kids though, and my kids were like,
Yep.
"I don't want to live in this world." That was basically. I'm like, "Oh, they were always mad. They were also mad about it. It's like, why are you guys driving the most gas guzzling cars possible if there's no gas? Why is everything like a V8 motor? And they figured this out when they're like 15. So yeah.
I love how depictions of the future have steadily gotten more and more pessimistic over the years.
Well, there's a new Fury Road. I mean, there's a new Mad Max.
Yeah. The one with
Still with Tom Hardy.
With who?
Still with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, but there's one after that too that doesn't have Mad Max even in it. It's just everybody
Ah.
else. Yeah.
No way.
So where are you at? What's the next stop on the adventure of a lifetime? The lifetime of adventure, I should say.
We're gonna go back into Peru from Bolivia. So we're gonna get them from Bolivia, the Amazon, get them out of the Amazon so we don't get eaten alive anymore, and then go over the Andes into Peru and then Ecuador try and climb that 6,500-meter mountain. It's the one which people say is taller than Everest because of the bulge in the Earth's crust. So you can sort of cheat and say, yes, I've been higher than Everest before, but it's all nonsense, obviously. And then the idea, I guess, is, the World Cup, if we want to go watch it in Colombia.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Anywhere in South America, you're gonna have a fun time watching. I would just go, my days, I just go to bars, just be like, just obnoxiously loud, and then just like people seem to, as long as you're positive, they go with the flow in South America. They know how to party.
No, we're very, very excited. And also Colombians, we've heard, really do know how to party. So we're going to have a nice World Cup in June. Yeah, it'd be great.
Oh, that's fantastic. And because some of those places too, like you said, have you been loading your vehicles into boats and then taking transport like that?
We haven't done that. We did that to get from South Africa to Uruguay. But in South America, if we stayed in the Amazon, we would have to do that. We'd have to put them, because it's all across rivers.
What was that boat trip like from South Africa to how long did that take?
That took I think it was about 3 weeks, because it went from South Africa to Europe, and then Europe. Basically, it was just a big boat dropping off a bunch of crates. It was basically, they were in containers.
Wow.
But apparently it costs more money to get them from Colombia to Panama than it did to get them from South Africa to Uruguay, because the Darien Gap exists, which you can't drive, and the rules about getting cars from ferrying from Colombia to Panama means that you have to pay vast amounts of money to get them across. So we're not looking forward to that.
Oh, so they're classified as cars, though? They're not classified as like 3-wheel? I guess it depends on the country, though.
I mean, we play fast and loose with it. When it works for us to classify them as a car, to get them into a safari park, they're a car. When it means that we're not going to get charged at a toll booth, they're a bike. So like, we're in this sort of weird gray area.
Oh, this is making me feel just young again, because this is I mean, now I'm all old and I'm 50 and I got my kids but my book about traveling in Peru was called Reckless Traveler, because everything I did was just sort of like whatever, whatever the easiest way to get the thing I want is what I'm going to do. And it's like, yeah, there's laws there. I'm kind of close to the laws. I'm in compliance. I'm in the shadow of compliance. It's like, well, okay, and now I'm not complying.
Yeah.
But still, to as much as possible. But
I think when you're young, get into that gray area. Like, get into that with however much you can, as long as you're like, walk that line while you're young, while you have nothing to lose.
Yeah. And naturally, I mean, not putting anybody at risk, but so many people are so afraid of just like I'll go into a parking lot, and if the parking lot's full and there's an empty space in front of where you need to go, I just take that space. And so many people are like, well, that space must be empty for some reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like people limit themselves. They they make things harder for themselves. It's like, no, just be bold. Just do the thing you need to do, and don't assume, never stand in line, because it could be that the 30 people in line are behind the wrong door.
Yeah. I always think about that at airports. When you're in a queue and you're just watching this one person who's available, and you're thinking, no, I'll stay in the queue. And I'm British, so I always stay in the queue. And then I'll watch one guy be like, no, is no one going to try this? And then he tries it, he's straight onto the plane. And it's like, fair play.
That's the guy.
But I hate you, but fair play.
That's not that guy's first day traveling. So yeah. Oh, what fun though you're doing with your stuff, and picking up languages left and right too, I'm sure.
I got pretty good at Bahasa Indonesia. Spanish is coming along, but not as quickly as I'd like, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Are you pretty good?
Yeah, we're still a Spanish-speaking family here.
Yeah,
so
your wife's from, is it Guatemala?
From Peru. She's from Peru.
Oh, Peru.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I was thinking too, I like all the different travelers you meet, and I had so many friends that were Germans. They would always come to Peru, and it's just like, as an American, if you're within 15 minutes of the arrival time, I'm like, okay, that's on time. And like Peruvians, it's like, let's meet at like 7. They might not show up till like midnight, and that's just the way they think. And then the Germans are, if they say 7, if you're at 7:35, you're late, and they're mad about it. So it's just like handling things like that and those cultural differences. I just delight in that. I think that's really fun.
For sure.
I love those positive stereotypes. It's like
the efficient one.
There's places it works really well, and they're like, but it's like, I would have to tell my German friends, it's like the bus schedule doesn't make sense down here. And it's like, don't Don't waste your time on agitation. It's not gonna change. We're not gonna change it. So just accept it. And one of my friends said that too. He's like, just accept it. Then you can have fun. If you're trying to change everything all the time, you're constantly pissed. What good does that do you? Just roll with it. And especially
Yeah.
like you're just driving around in your motorcycle. So you're just like, let's just see what this is. Just sitting, we're fixing a flat tire all day today. That's our day. That's what we're doing. We're gonna love it.
100, yes, you literally nailed it. Like, that's exactly why we do it and exactly what it feels like. Just this aggressive acceptance that you are helpless to change the reality of what's happening, and you just find a way to crack on. And then the strange, like, benefit of this is your self-confidence for situations
Yeah.
that aren't actually that big of a problem. Like, your life and the
Yep.
life of those that you love is not under threat. So everything that comes in, and my mum, I used to be a terrible teenager. Like, I was the worst. And I would cause rifts in my family as they'd be like, what do we do with Josh? And my mum said something to me this time since the tuk-tuks, which like really like, took me aback. We sat down with all of me and my dad and my mum at the dinner table, and she was like, "You've become very good at like diffusing situations which could spiral
Yeah.
into like full-blown arguments." And she was like, "I just don't understand how that's happened." It was like you went from being just the worst teenager ever to being now the guy who's like, "Guys, it actually isn't that deep." And it's that's a nice thing to hear from your mum eventually after
Oh,
causing her so much trouble.
yeah. I loved your phrase aggressive acceptance. That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to think about that. That seems like an article I have to write. But also too, like when you're traveling abroad, and I became very good at that too, because you're always and I would kind of manage people. They would call me the Godfather of Lima because I would just bring all these different groups together, and I'd be like, "Hey, come out!" We'd play poker and stuff. But then it's like you'd get people that were just out of control, and I could always diffuse them and talk them back down to sanity because you wait, you'd always meet these people that took one drink and they went from Jekyll to Hyde like instantly, and it's just
Right.
like, "All right, buddy," and I know it's like, and it's just you just keep it happy. And it's like, "Yeah, man, let's not fight, let's dance." And then they're just like, they don't know how to deal with that. But like handling those kind of situations when you're abroad, it becomes so second nature, and those skills are very useful for the whole
So
rest of your life.
useful, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, those first few times traveling where something went awry and you missed a bus, didn't know where you were, it was really easy for you to feel like, oh my God, this is a panic situation. What do I do? Where am I? But like you say, once you really stop and think about it, like I'm surrounded by safe people. All of my immediate needs are taken care of. If I need water, I can go ask for it. I can talk to a local. I know the language. It really is reassuring to know that you can get through those challenging situations as they arise. Because going into that first trip, I honestly had no clue how I would, approach those situations.
Mm,
Yeah. And just the stuff that happens too. I mean, yeah, you have to take it as an opportunity because,
yeah.
as you said before, with like the 2 week thing, oh, let's go see the whole country in 14 days. And it's just like, okay, now you're off schedule. And I just don't do schedules anymore
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, let's go ask this guy what to go see. And that's the other thing is like, the great percentage of people that you meet are so helpful and kind and
Mm.
they want to like they're proud of their country and they want to show you the best things and I just like zero bad experiences just randomly going up to strangers. Your chances of getting good people are just so high. I've always just really loved that.
For
I always
sure,
I
man.
always I always feel conflicted between the, urge to really prepare and watch all the videos and whatnot, but even just starting to do that, it's making me feel like such a tourist, and the very worst thing about my first solo trip, was creating too much of an itinerary for myself and feeling
Yeah.
like I've gotta do this day, and this day, and now I'm falling behind schedule, and it was so much more fun to just be.
Because I went there with no plan, and I'm just like, and it ended up being 9 years that I stayed there because it was just like it was so inexpensive, and then it's always, I mean, I still live this way now, where it's like, oh, there's all these ads and things in the world that cost all this money, but I'm pretty content with the stuff that costs nothing at all. And like you're doing even less expensive than me with your vehicles and your tents. Are you having to pay much for camping fees and stuff? Or
Pretty much, we never pay for camping fees. We camp illegally a lot of the time. But when I say illegally, I mean a lot of countries say you can't camp in public land. But when your country includes the Atacama Desert, it's quite hard to police that because like, not a lot of people around. So we've never paid for camping. We just if we're in a city, the worst that we had it was driving through because Chile is so long. You get so many ecosystems on the way up. So in Patagonia, no people really density wise because it's cold. It gets freezing, lots of snow. So you're not going to have big population densities. And then in the north, you've got the Atacama Desert, super dry, literally the driest place in the world. Not a lot of people again. But then there's this middle bit where it's kind of like England. It's just grass, like green grass, loads of rain. And that means for about 1,000 kilometers around Santiago, there is just so many people. So when we are driving, we can't afford to pay for a room every night. So we have to camp. So we'd be driving through these population areas like, okay, population. There must be a field soon. Never a field. And then we got into the habit of camping in rubbish dumps. So we just camp in dumps because no people there, free. But it's not like the most glamorous thing. But
well, and those laws about no camping, that generally means for like don't come and camp and live here. But if it's like just a night, because I've done that before too. My brother is like, you stop at those rest areas in the United States and you're not supposed to camp. But if like a police officer comes say, I'm just exhausted, I just need to sleep for a half hour. And then they're like, oh, okay, as long as you go. So you're actually that's that gray area we were talking about before. It's like in a real technical sense, you're not supposed to camp, but if you're just, well, I'm just stuck. I just need to be okay, fine. It's not like they're gonna haul you to jail, so that's okay.
I've always like feared that stereotypical situation where you get woken up in the middle of the night by the cop at your door, and
that's happened to me.
Realistically, though, I feel like any time that situation arises, and I just explain, like, look, officer, I didn't feel that I was safe to drive. I just needed to close my eyes for a few minutes. Like, what cop is really going to actually be?
Yeah. That's exactly what they told me. They're like, yeah, as long as you're gone in the morning. I was like, yeah, I just need a couple more hours here and then I'll be on my way. And they're fine, okay. And as long as you're not holding a severed head, they don't have, they might as well just leave. So, you must have gone up to Arica in Chile, right?
Arica. Yeah, we went through Arica. Yeah, we did. I love the Atacama Desert so much. Like having desert, but then you've got snow-capped mountains like the Andes. My God, like San Pedro, that little town in Chile on that border between Bolivia and Peru. It's sort of like,
I don't think I went there. I would just jump the border to Arica for my path or to get my work visa renewed.
Were border crossings at all tricky?
Yeah. The Peru. Oh my God. Like doing Peru, we had to cross the Peruvian border between Peru and Chile 4 times because they kept on making mistakes. Actually, they weren't mistakes. We should have pushed harder for certain things. But then we were tuk-tuks crossing borders in South America already is a problem. And then we know that we can't get from Arica to Ecuador in one go. Like it's 3 months and we drive tuk-tuks. We're slow. Like sometimes they always broken down. So we were like, sometimes we got in once and they gave us 1 month. And then it was like, well, you can't extend your visa in Peru. It's the only country I've ever been to where I couldn't extend my visa in the country. So we were talking to the border official and it was like, yeah, you got to go out again. So I've got to go back into Chile. So, but we just...
he might not be telling. Well, maybe it's changed, but it used to be you could go down to immigrations in the center of Lima and you could buy another month for $30, and you could do that 3 times. But maybe that's changed. And it also was though.
You can pay for you can overstay and pay $1 a day.
Yes, that was the other.
Yes, but that which would make sense as to why it would be 30 days for $30. But our problem is we had tuk-tuks as well, and the tuk-tuks was more money, and there's 2 of them, so it was like $1 each for you, and then $10 each for the tuk-tuks. So it would have bankrupted us
for day.
Oh yes,
that seems to be a place to say become a paid subscriber of Josh's Substack, so he can get his tuk-tuks out of hock.
No, that's funny. Watch all my stuff for free. Yeah,
you could probably. you should just sell it and then buy a new one in Peru. Maybe you could do that. Sell it in because the transport's pretty cheap. I mean, going across country there. Of course, you've probably grown accustomed and have affection for your tuk-tuks. Where did those originate?
Yes, they originated. We bought them in Kenya.
Wow.
So they have had when we got into the Bolivian Amazon, I was laughing so hard because I was just looking at this little thing that we'd driven it through like the deserts of northern Kenya, just driven it through so much weird stuff in Africa, like the Makati salt pans, and I just watched them like enter the Amazon rainforest. Like, what are you doing here? Like you've had the weirdest little life for a tuk-tuk.
Life of a tuk-tuk. Yeah, that could be the novel based on this. You should write it from the perspective of the tuk-tuk. And like
Cool.
you're just a background character that's like
Yeah.
the tuk-tuk's always complaining about. That fucking
Yeah,
asshole, you know what he did to me today?
They're just always just sweating into the seats and leaving horrible stains everywhere. Putting out cigarettes in his glove box. Yeah.
Are they ripping them apart at the border crossings to make sure you're not smuggling things in?
Yeah, every time. Yeah. We get the cocaine dog is always and also the funny thing is like it always comes in. So the coke dog is always just in our tuk-tuk going crazy. But it's good content for us. So we
You
don't
should
mind.
fill the seats with like doggy treats. Just for a joke. Just for a fun time with the border agents.
Yeah, or maybe we like crush up the dog treats so it's like a powder.
Yeah,
Put it in a bag.
Terrible idea. Yeah.
Put it under the seat.
That'd be good content. It'd be good content. We filled up our tuk-tuks with doggy treats. Let's see how the border respond. You're getting hauled off to jail. It was doggy treats.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Mr. Beast challenge. How fast can I get detained by the South American police?
Yeah. Very quickly.
It's not that hard of a challenge. You can get it. One of my friends, he had a story because you can rent cars and stuff down there. And this one friend of mine, he was eccentric anyway. So he was like, he'd taken to just wearing like a ventilator mask just because of the pollution. So I'm like, buddy, people are going to get mad at you. So he took like a taxi and like the taxi driver started freaking out because he's like, he's wearing a ventilator mask because he's going to like release some sort of toxic agent and spray it in. And so he like accused the guy of doing that, my friend. So they stopped the car and he's still got his ventilator on. So this guy called up his other friend and the other friend showed up and punches my friend in the face. And so then the cops come. And this guy had endless stories like this, just from like being goofy, like because he insisted on wearing a ventilator mask wherever he went. So that kind of stuff didn't happen to me. There's every one of that guy's traveler stories were like that. I think I'm more like Josh's kind of way of doing things where it's like, I don't bring all this chaos all the time. But when you're abroad and you meet people like that who constantly have like another really just bizarre story about how the next thing he knew he was in court having to defend and say, I didn't have a toxic agent that I released into the Uber. Like, how did I even get here? How did I get to this spot?
Insane.
I love stuff like that.
One of
Such a good
my
title for a Medium article there.
Which one? Which one's the title?
No,
How
that
did
would be
I-
a great title for a Medium article, yeah. I got accused of releasing a neurotoxin into
Oh, I got accused.
One of both my favorite and the least favorite aspects of travel is that wherever you go, you'll talk to people who are just going to one up you and your experiences. Like it's exciting because there are people
Guilty.
who've seen so much more of the world than you. But they're like, "Oh, that's cool. You camped in the desert for a month. Well, I actually got stranded in the Amazon for the better part of a decade."
Yeah, I guess that's kind of, but that just gives you something to shoot for now. That's like now it's challenge accepted. So he's like, next time we see Josh, he'll be like swinging from a thing over a fire, having the whole interview that way. Oh,
So do you fantasize much, Walter, about moving back to Peru, or are you
Oh.
pretty content fighting this fight here in the States?
The only thing keeping us here is the dog, to be absolutely honest. I would leave in a heartbeat if I could. I would love to go back. I mean, it's just,
So what's
it'd be
wrong with
nice
the
to
dog?
live again in a country. What?
So you don't think that you think traveling would be too much for the dog? That doesn't sound like it would be
Well,
too much of an obstacle.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's a matter of like getting him in there. It's just that complications, but yeah, I mean, it would be super easy. Yeah, we probably could take the dog. That's the tricky part. I'm afraid of like getting him on a plane. He looked at me. I said dog, and he looked up at me. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the kids have their lives here, but you get into these other countries, it's so important. And I mean, I just like the United States. I don't know what Josh's impressions are of Americans. And it's like what Murphy always says. The ones you meet abroad are like, oh, they're sweet people. They've actually, but the ones that stay forever in the country and they kind of fester and they don't see anything else and they think that's the only way of the world. And there's just, you go abroad and you see the way people treat each other and you're like, gee, this is something we could adopt and bring home to our country. And hopefully those of us who travel do that. But yeah, I mean, it is a lovely place to live. I like the way the people are.
I always feel like the people you meet while traveling are like the very best versions of their own country.
Yeah.
Exactly like you say. The Americans that you meet while traveling are not your stereotypical Americans. And a lot of the people that you meet when you announce that you're American, they expect you to be that typical American. And then when you're not and you've got thoughts of your own and you're not a radical consumer and don't support Trump, they're like, oh, wow, this guy is actually surprisingly normal.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Josh?
I was just thinking, like, we've met so many people on our travels, like special people that have joined us sometimes in the tuk-tuk, which for us to extend the invite for you to join us in the tuk-tuk, it's making us uncomfortable. So we have to really like you. And we had one guy in Africa, hated him, he had to go. A girl in Malawi, she was great. She stayed for as long as she wanted.
What happened with the guy you hated?
The guy we hate, he just thought that we had money. He thought that he could just come in and just eat all of our things, not even buy us beer. Like, if we're going to drive you around in the tuk-tuk and feed you, buy us beer occasionally. Like, he had no understanding of that. And the worst thing is, when he left, he said, you guys have probably realized I'm really wealthy. So if you ever come into trouble on the trip, just let me know. I'll help you out. And he was like, dude, you've had a whole month to bloody buy one round of beers. But anyway, I don't want to go into that guy. but what I was thinking is the American we've met, we have our preconceptions about Americans, as you do, if you don't live in America. But the guy that we have bonded with most on the entire trip, an American. And we didn't just bond with him in the way like, oh, he's a mate that we met while traveling. We bonded with him to the extent that we basically stole him. Like, we basically kidnapped him. We were like, you have to come with us. Like, we loved this boy. He's got a lad called from Wisconsin, 26 years old. And he was just the
Maybe
most...
it's me in a time loop. That's
Are you from Wisconsin?
Yeah.
No
I was 26 when I went to Peru too. So it's like, it's me in a time. It's an early version of me you met.
We met this 26-year-old homeless bum of a kid, covered in dust, just came out of the bushes looking like he was sleeping. He looked rougher than us. And we look rough at all times. And he came out of the bushes and he was just the most genuine, thoughtful, kind boy. And he has been traveling with us for the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And he's got his own motorbike.
I love this guy. I gotta get to know this guy.
Yeah.
I've often said too, it's like Wisconsin people. Well, number one, what people don't know about Wisconsin is it can outdrink like every other state. I went when I went to Oktoberfest. The Germans they're just like, you guys, you Americans, you can't take your drinks, and I'm just like, you haven't met too many guys from Wisconsin then. I put them under the table. And this was back. I quit. I had to quit drinking eventually. But yeah. And then the other thing Wisconsin prepares you for is everything. Cause we got our winters where it's like 25 below and we can just handle all the weather. We're just kind of like affable. And like one of my friends came up from Scotland. He was walking through my town here and all the people are like, hi. And he's like, this is a weird town. Everybody says hi. And we get like that kind of bumpkin thing. Like, oh, I'm the bumpkin from Wisconsin, but it really works. It makes us good travelers. So that's the one thing I hope my kids have picked up from living here in this state.
Yes. Well, he's there in Wisconsin right now where everyone's back home earning money for a month and then we go back. But he's waiting tables. So he's waiting tables. He gets paid very good money from waiting tables.
I should go track him down. What's it? All right. Maybe he doesn't want to.
No idea where he works. I could pass it on to you later, but I just know he's just a really good lad, and I really like him. And and I haven't bumped into many people that I've like held on to while I've been traveling. And Matt's one who I'll probably invite to my wedding if I ever meet a girl and ever want to have a wedding. Then Matt is someone who I'd be like, mate, you've got to come. I love you.
Yeah. He's in that just exploration phase of life, that kind of that moment. And I went there too, and I'm just like, what I've had up till now ain't working. So I'm just going to go out into the void and float down the river and see who I meet and face the world with good intentions, and then just good things happen with like no plan, and you don't
Yeah.
make any reservations. You just kind of go, and yeah, Peru was that was a soft landing spot for me.
How
I
much
mean, my impression is I just got really lucky to get to Peru. I don't know if any other place I've been to a lot of places now, and the people just adopted me there. But yeah, you'll find great people everywhere you go.
how much has your tuk-tuk group varied in size?
We're pretty much always 4 because
Okay.
like our way of life is not conducive to people coming to like try it. They come and they try it, and as soon as they realize that they're having to dig a hole every time they want to go to the bathroom in the morning, they all of a sudden there's like, well, so how often do you do this? It's like every day. Every day you're with us. And then it's like, well, when's breakfast? It's like, what's breakfast? And then it's like
Yeah.
lunch. It's like you could buy some crisps. Like we just it's it's not glamorous. So people don't stick around for long generally.
I
Uh,
I lived in the wilderness of Virginia without a cell phone for a month, and that was the way that I had to go to the bathroom for that entire month. And it felt awful in the moment, and the way that I romanticized that month after the fact is just so hilarious. Like that was one of the best months of my entire life.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I mean, one thing which really I'm not sure how much I want to go into this, but the Amazon that was another lesson the Amazon taught me is that these bugs that bite you all the time, just because you're on the toilet and you've never felt like you should be on guard on the toilet, that doesn't mean they stop biting you. I remember like after day 3 in the Amazon where we were literally like having to dig a hole going through in the forest at like night. Sometimes it's dark, you've got a head torch on, and you're just not realizing what's happening, and you get back into bed and you're like, ow, like I'm hurting in places where I should not be hurting. The next day in the shower, like, oh my God. Like it's a horrible experience. But then, like you said, you romanticize it in your
Yep.
head. You just never remember that bit afterwards. Yeah.
I've found a useful thing to bring with me when I was especially doing that trip to Choqquequirao. If you bring like those thermal hand warmers, if you throw those into your sleeping bag at night, like if it's really cold, if you're up at altitude and it just gets freaking freezing, you
Yeah.
throw one of those thermal hand warmers into your thing, and it's like then you can get a good night's sleep. So I always
Yeah.
had a couple of those for emergencies to get me through to the next place.
That's a good tip.
Yeah,
Do you like Bill Bryson?
yeah, I've read a couple of his things. Yeah.
I've
What
been
would
thinking I've been trying to read more of his, like, 'cause he's quite funny in places. I read his Appalachian Trail one, and which is very good. The Walk in the Woods, I
Yep,
think it's
yep,
called.
yep. That's good.
Yeah, I've been like because I've been trying to like not be too serious with my writing, like not be like too deep, and he's very good at the surface level dialogue sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'll have
can't.
to think of some suggestions for you on that. I can't nothing is coming to mind right now, but I've got the sense that something should. Yeah, like I was laughing at my age again. It's like I can't quite retrieve it back up from the depths of all the things that I've experienced, but there's something in there that I have to tell you about. I'll find
Send
it.
it over when you remember.
But how long have you been on this trip now?
Bloody hell. This particular trip started in 2021. So we started in October 2021 driving, and our start line was the equator going across Kenya. So we drove across that. And there's been one break in between when we got to South Africa. We had about a year off to try and like sort out the shipping of the tuk-tuks. I went off to the Philippines and bloody just had a good time for a little bit. The boys did most of the work, to be honest, getting the tuk-tuks across the ocean. But yeah, a long time. It's been weird. It's been a period of life, 28 to now I'm 33. We set off when I was 28, now I'm 33. A period of life where all of my friends have got married or had kids, apart from the ones that I'm on the trip with. So we're sort of in this weird bubble, where like we're getting wedding invites and we're like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm literally in the Amazon rainforest. I cannot be coming. But it's never felt more because when I was younger, when I was traveling, like 26, 27, it never felt like out of place. It was like this is what I'm meant to be doing. But this is the first time I've ever felt like I'm in this weird bubble. It's like, oh, literally everyone is popping out a child or getting married.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know that feeling too. I'm part of the reason I started traveling in Peru. I'm just like, why am I spending money on an apartment? I do not want to have this apartment. I would rather be sleeping in a ditch than have this apartment. And so that's when I got down to my backpack and I went to Peru and and it's like, and I would rent a room just because I was like, I'll leave my stuff there and then it's like $100, fine. I'll travel all over. the country and do all these things. But yeah, there gets to be a point, I guess, and things can change fast too. I mean, I'm like, why am I doing this? Where does this end up? It doesn't matter. Just keep going. And eventually, one day it just happens where it's like, okay, this is the person I want to settle down with. And oh, I want to buy some power tools so I can build a table, and it's just sort of like it just happens. So don't worry about it. It'll come when it's naturally supposed to come.
Yeah. That's
So
the
much of the
important thing is
reason
still enjoying it.
So much of the reason that I've been reluctant to get an apartment is because I feel like it would completely negate my ability to travel. Like
Yeah.
in a given year, I'm spending $15,000 just living living somewhere, and the amount of world that I could see for that amount of money is just it's enthralling.
Yeah. And yeah, like the Peru version where it's like $100, that's my main base. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over here and stay in a hotel. And the hotels would be sometimes $10 a night.
Yeah.
So it's like that wasn't bad. And I would always find them. But the one I went to Arica one time, and I was getting this hotel and the guy was being all shady. And I'm just like, where's the door? And it's like, here's the door. And it's like I pulled the door closed, it was supposed to be locked, and then I just like gently pushed on it, the door opened up, and the guy just looked at me like, and then he gave me my money back. I found it's like the door's got a lock, at least. I need that. But some of those trips are funny. We'd have a lot of nights though too, where we just like, oh, no place to stay. Let's just stay at the bar all night, and then like watch each other as we take naps in the morning. Oh, those are good days. Those are good days. Well, I don't know how much time you got. I guess we're at the end of the hour here. The dogs are
dog is
barking.
kindly imploring me to let him out, so I guess this is a good time to call it. But it was a delight to have you on, Josh, and
Awesome. Very much.
would be fun to talk again soon. If you when do you leave again to resume your trip?
February the 10th, flying
Okay.
back to Bolivia. So yeah, but thank you very
Okay.
much for having me on. It's been awesome to meet you guys again. Meet you also and see you again, Ben.
Oh, it's so wonderful. It's been fantastic. It just makes me happy. This is exactly what I needed to just kind of get the other thoughts out of my mind and remember what's possible and how, you can't have this life, even with all the things that are going on. But yeah, we have to talk about how to monetize more of your Substack. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be, people shouldn't have to be quitting for a month to go wait tables. I mean, with what you guys are
Right.
doing, are you kidding me? So there's got to be pictures and ways to do this. So I'll think about it. I'm excited now. This has been so much fun. So
Thank you very
thanks for
much.
coming. Yeah.
Thanks again for joining, and sorry everyone for the tech difficulties, and thank you for bearing with me. And yeah, thanks for joining.
Goodbye,
All
everyone.
right. Yep.
Yeah,
Thanks,
bye, guys.
everybody. Love you all. See you.
Bye.